Okay, everybody, welcome back to the Dana Buckler Show, and welcome to the end of the year show. Yes, we are recording in the last week of 2024, and when I say we, I am joined by the two individuals that have been on the show the most this year. I have my good friend, Bill Searcy. Bill, hello, how are you?
Hi, that's my turn to go, right?
That's your turn to go, absolutely.
Hi. Yeah, that's me.
And then, of course, I've got the lovely, talented, beautiful Jess from the Joint Laughter Podcast. All three of us in studio at the same time. Jess, how are you today?
I'm good. I love the introduction.
Well, thank you. I'm glad that you're here. We have all recorded together, but we've never recorded at the same time. So Bill's been in the Dana Buckler studio. Jess has been in the Dana Buckler studio. This is the first time that the three of us have been here. And I asked you both to join me because I want to kind of take a look back at the year that was 2024, not only for the Dana Buckler Show, but you know, for what we've been enjoying this year, specifically movies and television. But before I do that, I just want to send a quick thank you out to all the individuals that are supporting this show on Patreon. I appreciate each and every one of you. Your donations this year have really helped. And I want to send a very special thank you out to an individual out there who has so graciously supported this show on a level that I don't even know how to begin to say thank you to. So, Charlene, I know you're listening. Thank you for all of your support throughout the years, but especially this year. It has meant everything. So, Charlene, thank you. What we're going to do here is we're going to just kind of take a look at some of the stuff that we've been watching this year. So, Bill, I want to start with you, okay?
Why does he get to go first?
I raised my hand first.
Oh, that's right.
Remember?
Yep. Dana's rules.
So, Bill, I'm going to start with you, but I'm not going to ask you to go through everything.
Yeah,
we're going to do a couple things at a time, all right? So we can kind of bounce back. You'll do two, Jess will do two, and I'll do two. So what we're really going to be looking at is movies and television series that we've watched this year. Good, bad, doesn't matter. Just want to get your opinion. So, Bill, tell me about a couple movies you saw this year and what really stood out to you.
Well, I like to have criteria, though.
Sure.
I know you didn't tell me to have criteria, but I like to have like some reason why they're on here.
Yes, of course.
So we'll do the best we can navigating this list. But the way I picked this list was I took a movie from each month of the year that got released that month. So I have 12 movies.
Love it.
Okay. So I had to watch it, obviously. I had to like it or kind of like it. So there's nothing on here that I just didn't like. And each one was released from, a different month. So I can start in January, but
let's start in January.
Not saying we're going to go through each month.
Yeah, but let's start in January.
All right, there, why not?
Seems so long ago.
For real.
Yeah.
It's crazy. That's how the year started. All right. So do you want to do guessing or do you just want me to just start, going?
I'm going to say this.
We got to be get right to business today.
I'll say this. Normally, like when we do When Movies Were Movies, one of my favorite series that the three of us have done throughout this year, usually those films are in the 70s, 80s, or 90s, and it's pretty easy for me to guess based on a couple hints. But I make no bones about the fact that I don't watch a lot of modern movies. So if we wanted to get into the guessing game with hints, it would probably take a long time. So we'll skip all of that, and we'll just get right into your January pick.
Agree. Okay. So on IMDb, it got a rating of 6.3. It's kind of fits my style, vengeance movie, kind of tough guy movie, revenge style type thing. And then also on Rotten Tomatoes. So here's a funny thing that I kind of uncovered while doing this. Because I followed Rotten Tomatoes ratings just for curiosity to share with the listeners. So this one was pretty good. 70% tomatoes, 92 popcorn. Mm. But I want to run a new list. I want to see the lowest tomato percentage and the highest popcorn and run the top 10 of the biggest differences. Because no offense to some of the critics, I'm like, just because they didn't like it doesn't mean I'm not going to like it. So anyway, this one's Beekeeper. Great movie, lots of action. I wouldn't say it's a John Wick style, but just a lot of, to be honest, just action and kick-ass movie. Yeah, yes, sir.
When I was sworn in as director, I was read into programs I never imagined existed. Well, there are programs even I wasn't privy to. Like the beekeepers. The honeybee. It's always had a special relationship with humanity, a sacred relationship. Why? No bees, no agriculture, no civilization. Our nation is not unlike a beehive with its complex systems of workers, caretakers, even royalty. If any of the beehive's complex mechanisms are compromised, the hive collapses. Someone a long time ago decided that a mechanism was needed to keep our nation safe, a mechanism outside the chain of command, outside the system. Its one mission: to keep the system safe. Beekeepers are given all resources, empowered to act on their own judgment. For decades, they have quietly worked to keep the hive safe.
It's interesting you mentioned The Beekeeper. I think you and I sat down and watched this maybe about 2 months ago. I was familiar with it, directed by David Ayers, who's, he's made some gritty movies over the years. I love this style of revenge movie. This is the one, it's like John Wick, where everybody knows who a beekeeper is, except the people that have kind of committed the crime. And they keep getting warned, well, you went against a beekeeper, you're dead. And the same thing like John Wick. Well, you killed John Wick's dog? Well, you're dead.
Exactly.
I love those type of movies. So
yeah, just well written.
Don't forget about Jason Statham, the yummy actor Jason Statham. But I have a little bit of a, I was roofied, scammed, and hacked all in the same week. So I can kind of like understand this movie because he went after scammers, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He did.
Kicked their asses.
Yeah, and they deserved it. That's the beauty of it.
Well, the basic plot of it is Felicia Rashad is she's a wonderful woman. She's since retired. She's got, she oversees a foundation and
with millions,
with
just
worth
sitting
millions,
there.
and then she gets something that we all have experienced on our laptops and our phones, where you get this warning: your system's been hacked. You got to call this number, and it's very mirrors what happens to a lot of people. You call that number, and you eventually end up getting scammed out of all your money. What happens? And she ends up committing suicide. She's so distraught, and Statham has a relationship with her. I don't mean that in like a physical sense, but they're friends,
Right.
And he decides to exact revenge. And I'll leave it at that.
That's it.
Great movie, solid action film.
Well, Statham needs to go after Cash App because they got me for $1,800 and I didn't get my money back. So where was Statham then, huh?
Well, he wasn't, contracting bees and honey and all that stuff. You didn't have him on your farm. That's you need a farm first.
Well, I guess that's why I messed up.
Yeah, you did.
All right. So good January. Tell me your February movie.
All right, I guess I'm just starting with just action movies here. This is another badass kind of action movie. February 16th release, 6.6 on IMDb, 67% tomatoes and 94% popcorn. So again, I didn't follow the popcorn there, but this is my pick, but it looks like they agreed with me here. Russell Crowe, Liam Hemsworth, another survival special ops movie.
Yeah,
this is a badass movie. Land of Bad.
We didn't finish that movie, did we?
We didn't finish. We started it one Saturday night and we both fell asleep. And
not because the movie was bad.
No, not
it was
because
just late.
it was just
Dana
late.
had too many bourbons.
Yeah, there you go.
It was
Old fashioned or just bourbon?
Old fashioned.
probably
There
old
we go.
fashioned. So the thing is, it was. We know what I call that film, Land of Bad, perfectly watchable. You know what? It doesn't pretend to be anything more than what it is. Just a fun action film, and you know what? I got to put that on the list to finish that up.
Yeah, exactly. And you could tell my mentality. Look, I watch a movie just to be entertained. I'm not looking for all the stuff that you're looking for. I just want to sit there and kind of get away and be entertained for an hour and a half, 2 hours. So that's what this movie does.
Yeah.
If you like action movies.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's good choice. And just so you know, do you know what the popcorn means on Rotten Tomatoes?
Well, that's the viewers.
It's so there's you got the critics and then the audience score.
Yeah, that's
So-
why I want to see the biggest difference, because sometimes critics, I don't align with critic. And there's one of my movies in here. It is a huge difference. So I'd love to know the top 10 movies that have the biggest difference.
No, perfect.
Every time Rotten Tomatoes comes out, I always just say, if the more that they don't like the movie, the more I like it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like more than you'd think.
So if the critics on Rotten Tomatoes say it's terrible, I want to watch that.
Well, let's get a top 10 of the biggest difference. That's what I want to see.
Love it. Let's plan an episode where we do 10 movies that have a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes and give it a watch.
Oscar winning.
So, all right. So those are two recommendations for you. So I'm going to take this over to Jess now. Jess, you did something a little different this year. You spent a lot of time on the streaming service Tubi, which I just want to say for the record, I love Tubi. Tubi, for those who don't know, is a free movie and television streaming app. Free because it is ad supported, meaning that if you pick a movie, or a television show, you're going to get little ad breaks. But I think they've got an amazing selection of first run movies on there. But if you dig just a little bit deeper, there's some real hidden gems on there. And
so how do you get Tubi? I mean, I see it go across. Is it just sitting there on all apps and platforms? How do you get it?
It's free to everybody. You just have to have a television, and you just download the app, and then there you go.
Wow.
It's the most watchable free streaming platform on the market.
That's cool.
That's
cool.
Okay, so she's correct. There are several free streaming apps out there. Freevee, Crackle, Tubi.
Yeah, I've seen them. They just show up. I didn't know if I
download them. Freevee's good too.
But make no mistake about it. Like Tubi, as far as subscribers, is the number 2 subscribed streaming service of all of them.
That's cool.
It has more active subscribers than Disney Plus. The only one that has more is Netflix, because Netflix has had, a 15-year head start ahead of everyone.
Cool.
So when I would call Jess and be like, what are you doing? She would just say, I'm watching a Tubi movie. She wouldn't even tell me what the movie was.
It's embarrassing.
It's just a Tubi movie. So Jess, take it away. Give us a couple Tubi recommendations.
Well, to be or not to be? That is the question.
It is, and I'm going to write it down. Go.
And Dana does make fun of me, but then I got him hooked on Tubi. But they started is for independent filmmakers. So I like it because it gives people a chance, the new filmmakers.
Like that, like basically Tubi is one of those rare places where if the three of us decided tomorrow that we want to make a movie, all right, we get our cameras, we edit it, we produce it, and we're looking for a place to distribute the film.
Yeah.
We can upload it to Tubi.
Can we put our TV series on there?
We can. Yes, you probably
I could put High Fade on there.
You probably could. You probably could.
There is a whole way. They've had a whole way of how you get your criteria out there, and it's not easy, they said.
No.
You got to pass a bunch of stuff, but we'll make it.
Yeah, of course we will.
I've got episodes. I got to put my guys on that one.
Yeah.
Well,
All
there
right,
are
go
actually
ahead,
people who are filming these movies with their cell phones.
Yeah.
And Dana, didn't you have someone reach out to you?
I've had over the past few years, I've had several individuals reach out to me, asking me to, watch their film on Tubi and see if I will talk about it on the podcast. And to be fair, I always answer these people back, and I always say, listen, I'm happy to watch your movie. No guarantee that I'm going to talk about it on my show. And we do it. We sit down, we watch the film, and some of them have been really not for me. Some of them have had some interesting ideas, but nothing that I felt warranted me sort of breaking the formula of this podcast.
Right.
The formula of this podcast is sort of more, older movies, at least what we've been doing over this past year.
Well, I can't wait to hear what you got here. Let's go.
So Jess, give us 2.
Okay, so I'm just going to say it because I have a lot to say about Tubi. They should hire me.
Okay.
But I like the movie, love the movie, Murder on the Cape.
Murder on the Cape.
Murder on the Cape.
I'm already loving
from 2017.
Yes.
And it's a movie. It's based off of actual events. I don't know if I told you that.
I didn't know that.
It's based off of a woman.
Was she murdered?
She's an interior designer and an out of work fisherman, and it takes place on the Cape. So
the Cape meaning Cape Cod.
Cape Cod.
I thought it was Batman's cape.
No. Nope.
Oh, okay.
Thank you for clarifying that, Dana, so people aren't confused. Yeah. But I don't want to be a spoiler alert, but the movie itself, the acting isn't on point, but that's a Tubi movie, So I actually like that. I like grade B movies.
Well, you know what it is. So you're not disappointed.
I mean, what kind of woman calls your husband's phone and yells at him?
How was your trip?
What?
You think Mike's an angel working on the job?
Something going on?
I was down by Dyer's Cove. He parked his car and he walked down to the end of the path. Then, a woman came down the same path, got in her car and left.
Your wife must be so clueless.
Look, leave my wife out of this. People are talking.
About what?
About you and Elizabeth Baldwin.
Do you shoot tequila?
I could think of a lot of things I'd like to shoot right now.
You're pregnant? Is it mine?
Are you kidding?
Well, there's always that guy Peter that's hanging around here.
Were you spying on me?
Why don't you let me in like that?
Your drugs, you getting them from the same source? Don't lie to me. I'll take you in right now.
Look, Elizabeth, I'm married, remember?
Oh, Peter already knows.
What? Did you tell him?
Folly, rolly, 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 rah, hi, doc.
How could you do this to me?
If you want honey, don't kick over the beehive.
To me, I compare it a little bit to the Cannon film era, Cannon film of the 1980s, where those focused on action movies. Tubi is filled with a ton of, D-level movies where the acting is not good. The plot is sometimes ridiculous.
Can it be any better than that? I love it.
You just kind of sit down and watch them. And the first time I was really introduced to this type of movie was Murder on the Cape. I came home and she was watching it, and I sat down. I didn't even ask, what are you watching? I'm watching. And I said, what the fuck are you watching?
Because you're like, this isn't good, right?
Like, what is this? But I was baffled at how bad it was, but couldn't stop watching it. And I think I've seen the movie 4 times now.
Oh my gosh,
because
come on,
it's
guys.
one of those films where you're like, it's bizarre. Like, it's not even by accident how bad it is. Like, it's not great, but it's so watchable.
I can't wait to watch.
I reached out to the director, Arthur Egeli, Egeli. Not sure if I'm butchering his last name or not, but of course, to come on my show, but he didn't get back to me. He must have more important things to do. But his wife actually plays the role.
She has a significant role in the movie.
She's the out of work fisherman, his wife. And I don't be a spoiler alert, but there's an affair that happens and
a murder.
And a murder.
There better be a murder.
Yeah.
That'd be a
Murder on the-
letdown.
And but it's based on a fashion writer. That's what it was. She's a fashion writer. And so, but anyway, that movie I highly recommend.
I'm in.
Not because of the acting, but the plot is really good.
It's a whodunit.
Whodunit, and it keeps your attention.
What it does is it creates multiple suspects for you and your.
I think I need red wine. This sounds like Cabernet for me, like a nice big red wine.
Well, I'll be right back.
Let's watch it again. I'm ready.
And then how about that actor that's in it? I didn't write down his name, but you thought he was great. He was the one on drugs.
Yeah, there was actually one person in the movie where I'm like, well, if this guy continues with his acting career, he might actually make it to the next level. There was one particular performance.
Like if Wings does a redo, he'd get on the new Wings.
He could possibly be in that. Yeah.
Whatever that's called.
All right. Well, that's Murder on the Cape. What's another one? Another Tubi recommendation?
64 million watchers on Tubi, and Fox bought it for $440 million.
Good for that guy.
Fox
or girl, whoever.
So Fox bought Tubi.
Jeez.
Okay, but do we know who owns Fox?
Disney.
Isn't that interesting?
Kind of. It is kind of interesting. And my next movie, hands down, this movie, I was watching it the other night. And I know that Tubi is full of grade B movies or grade D movies. And then most of them are watchable. But then there's that one that is really good. And it's like, wow, this one's going to go somewhere. And it's called Last Known Location.
Oh, Last Known Location.
And it's not based on actual events or true story, but you would think that it was. It is about 3 ladies who get abducted. They all have different lives. The one thing they all 3 have in common is they have no family, but they each get abducted and they have to fight for survival in a cellar against this man who repeatedly rapes them.
Oh, I'm out.
Yeah, that's heavy.
Yes, I bought a plane ticket, didn't I? Okay, yes. Okay, love you. Bye.
Marley's got some high standards, Si. I mean, she's looking for someone who can string a few sentences together.
I'm about to pick up and leave town for some better prospects.
I guess I'm not going to see you. You said you were going away for like a month?
Yes, that's right. It's a family thing.
Please.
Who are you?
Try to relax.
Don't tell me to relax. Where am I?
We're trapped in this basement.
Somebody please help! How long have you been here?
63 days.
What does he want with us?
You got 2 missing persons. How long before somebody called about her?
I don't know, meeting someone in person for the first time, it's a little intimidating.
You know, it's always the boyfriend with these things.
I'm not ready to let you go yet.
Seems that you got the ticket at one of the last known locations of one of our missing people.
He told me that if I tried to leave again, he'd kill me. I believe him.
But here's the thing.
Do they get him?
I'm not going to say.
Ugh.
But the movie itself has all the emotions. I found myself laughing in it, scared in it. I cried. And the end has an incredible twist on it that I did not see coming. Danny Donnelly directed it, and he also stars in it. But this is a movie I think everyone should watch.
Last known location.
And it also is good for women who have been, for women who might get abducted one day. It's like a survival thing. They might get some.
They could learn something?
Yeah, I think
I
so.
got you.
Okay,
I got you.
Interesting.
The ending is so good.
Okay, last known location. All right, so we're going to put that on the list. Perfect. All right, Bill, back to you. We're going to start. We're going to go in the month of March.
I'm going to skip March.
All right.
Well, I don't think I'll get to all 12.
Oh, well, we're
just
we're
quickly
trucking
say
along.
March. I'm curious.
Yeah, we're trucking along.
Kung Fu Panda.
All right, Kung Fu Panda
Next.
4.
Four. Yes.
4. Okay, so
I love Jack Black.
I will go ahead and just for the record say I have not seen 1, 2, or 3.
Well, you're missing out.
I hear he's a spicy meatball.
He is no, he eats dumplings. His dad
I
makes
meant Jack
dumplings.
Black.
But he makes dumplings in this. But is he a spicy meatball?
Well, he's from the meatball tour. Got kicked out of Australia.
Well, that was his buddy.
It was both of them.
No way.
No.
Jack Black's a saint.
No. If you watch I saw the video that for what she's talking about, Tenacious D were doing a concert. It was Jack Black and his partner Kyle. I can't remember his last name.
guy.
And it was Kyle's birthday, and this was recorded on a cell phone camera. They were at a concert, and Jack Black asked Kyle what did he want for his birthday in front of the crowd, and he goes, "My birthday wish is that the assassin didn't miss," referring to Trump.
Oh boy!
And so,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, right then and there,
knucklehead.
Right then and there, Jack Black, like they disbanded.
Yeah,
like the next day they said Tenacious D is over with.
That's
what do they call the leader of Australia? Not the prime minister.
Yeah, he's prime minister.
Okay,
yeah.
he immediately called for them to be
deported.
banned.
Yeah, go right away.
They can never come back to Australia again.
Like
crazy.
Like it harkens back to the Natalie Maines, George Bush. I'm ashamed that to be from the same state as George Bush, but on a whole different level.
Yeah.
And look what happened to Natalie Maines.
Right.
In the Dixie Chicks back then.
Dixie Chicks. Yeah, I remember
guys,
that.
the Chicks.
The Chicks. Excuse me. The Chicks.
No, I like Dixie Chicks, but we have to call them the Chicks.
But
That's
Tenacious
nuts.
D had to make a formal apology, and Jack Black he really got ahead of this, because if you watch the video, even his reaction in real time was kind of like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Like, why would you say that?
And his apology did sound legit.
Yeah,
I'll have to say that.
Yeah,
I'm
dude.
a Jack Black fan, too.
So am I. Agree or not agree, like you just shouldn't think
There's
that.
certain- yeah,
That's
certain
about
things, yeah.
he's-
Yeah.
You can't control things other people say.
No.
We don't get political on the Dana Buckler show, but
Right.
I will be the first to say that was a kind of a bonehead thing to
Yes.
say. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, stupid.
So
Anyway, Kung Fu
all right,
Panda.
so Kung
There
Fu
we go.
Kung
Yeah.
Fu Panda. See,
Great kids
see,
movie.
See,
Hey.
yeah, exactly. See?
And it's streaming right now on Tubi.
It is. See,
It
there you
is.
go. It's
See,
everywhere.
You never know where the conversation's going to go. That's why I'm glad you didn't skip March.
And if you follow, all of those movies, it's a great story.
Yeah.
It's a good story. And Dustin Hoffman's excellent in it. And they added Aquafina in this. And it's a 71% tomatoes, 85 popcorn. So the people like it as much as me, especially if you have kids.
And I'm sure you guys are excited for Kung Fu Panda 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm sure they're
If
all.
the kids like it and
Hey.
they want to see it,
It's all that matters.
and it is entertaining, it wouldn't be on my list if I wasn't entertained.
Love
Anyway,
it. Love it. All right. April, big month. My birthday month.
Okay, here we
April.
go.
What-
Controversial movie.
All right.
Okay.
Let's go.
7 on the IMDb, which I think is pretty
that's high. For
Okay, that's
IMDb,
high.
that's
Okay.
very high.
This is the only one where it's on my list where it's flipped. The critics were higher than the viewers.
That's interesting.
Yeah, 81% tomato, 69% popcorn.
Okay.
Pretty much dystopian future American life or world that we live in. And this one follows the reporters
This one's
or the
on my
media.
list.
Yeah,
This one's
Civil
on my-
War. It's called Civil War.
Sir? Just
what? Just what?
You know what?
What?
Just please.
Just please.
Let's Sir, please.
Sir. Yes,
Just
speak.
Let me. We're American journalists.
You told me that already.
Okay, we work for Reuters.
Reuters doesn't sound American.
Okay, it's a news agency.
I know what Reuters is.
Sir, okay, I'm just saying.
Just saying, just what?
We're American, okay?
Okay. What kind of American are you? Central American? South American? What?
Florida.
Florida. Central. What about you? Where are you from?
Tell him, Jesse.
Missouri?
Missouri? It's the show me state, right?
Yes.
Isn't that what they call it?
Yes.
Why do they call it the show me state?
I don't know.
You don't know? It's American. It is American. 100%. What about you? Where are you from?
Colorado.
Colorado. Colorado, Missouri. That's what I'm talking about. It's American. Who's this guy hiding over here? Hey, buddy. What's your deal? Where are you from? Huh? Where are you from? What? You can't speak? Are you mute? You can't speak English? Yes, you can. Yes, you can't. Okay. You open your mouth and tell me where you're from. Just make sure it's clear fucking English, okay? Where are you from?
I'm from Hong Kong.
And again, this is when you're sitting at home and it just pops up. Like, I wasn't searching for this thing. It just pops up on my streaming. And I'm like, okay, well, that's a great name. There's movies out there we've talked about in the past that have terrible names. But if you put, a tile up there that says Civil War, but the photo of it looks like kind of real world, you got my attention.
The photo is snipers in the torch of the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, so you got my attention right away, right? So good title, good picture, or title picture. What's the term for the photo of a movie?
Good movie poster, one sheet.
Yeah, one sheet. So the one sheet just got my attention. And it's actually very well done. It is a little kind of off or weird a little bit in regards to what's happening in the movie, but it was very entertaining.
So Civil War, written and directed by Alex Garland. And Alex Garland has done movies like Ex Machina, Annihilation, Men. This film is unique in the sense that the basic plot of the film is that we follow a few journalists, war correspondents, who are reporting on the ongoing civil war that is happening in the United States. It takes place, obviously a couple of years in the future. And it doesn't tell you, what's unique about the film is it doesn't tell you why the Civil War started, who started it. It really just, you're seeing everything through the journalist's eyes.
Yeah, and they kind of have this agreement with whoever's fighting.
Yeah.
That you can't touch the media.
Yeah, they wear.
It's very interesting.
They wear the vests that say "press" on them, and
Right.
it's kind of like when you watch footage over in the Middle East or where you see war correspondents. They've got the jackets and the press, and they're right there with the fighters on either side.
Pretty cool.
There are some pretty harrowing scenes. The scene involving Jesse Plemons is the guy who's got the red sunglasses on.
Yes,
that's actually Kirsten Dunst's husband in real life. And where
cool actor, cool guy.
The scene
like
where
this
he
guy.
asks
like him.
because some of the correspondents are, even though they're from America, they have different accents. One is from Puerto Rico and another one, and he asked them, are you American? And if the answer was no, he was going to kill them.
Yeah.
Like it's very harrowing. I don't want to spoil it, but the whole movie sort of culminates on everybody sort of descending on Washington D.C. because was it the Texas-California Alliance, which
Yes.
again tells you what is going on, like that Texas and California, they're on the same side.
Yep.
They're going to make their way to Washington, D.C. to try to overthrow the White House. And I don't want to spoil it beyond that, but
very interesting.
Very
I love
interesting
it.
film.
Yeah, I liked it.
I didn't see it.
Oh, it's cool.
I didn't. I was expecting something different based on the trailer. So the
was
first
I.
time I watched it, I was kind of like, Not what I expected, but I did watch it a second time, understanding the type of movie it was going to be, and had a much better experience with it. So it was good film. Good film.
What, Kristen Dunst? Is it Kristen Dunst?
Yeah, Kirsten Dunst. Yeah,
Kirsten Dunst. Yeah, she does a great job.
Good
too.
film. Good film.
Can you name the movie that she was a little kid on?
Yes, I can.
A one sheet, wouldn't you say that?
So what? Interview with the Vampire.
Interview with the Vampire.
Yeah.
So the posters for the movies, those
it's
are
called
called
a one sheet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like
I got a question for you later because I'm going to fire some questions.
Like
at
in
you,
the Dana Buckler studio, we have a one sheet for Jaws and a one sheet for the 1983 masterpiece Staying Alive with John Travolta. Signed by Mr. John Travolta.
For myself.
Yes.
It was my last year's Christmas present.
Yes.
I need to get a poster up in here for you, man.
Yes, you do.
That's my bad.
Absolutely. All right. Well, that was perfect. All right, Jess, I'm going to turn it back to you for a couple more Tubi recommendations.
Well, I have one I also want to say that Tubi, they're known to remake movies. So some of these new movies come out on Tubi, they are remakes, like a Fatal Attraction and movies such as that. So they remake them in the same kind of concept, which is kind of neat. Because I love those kind of movies.
I'm so intrigued. I didn't know this. I thought Tubi just showed old movies like that. This. I'm so intrigued with
treasure trove of goodness.
There's also
I'm so glad I'm
television shows on there, like series.
Okay.
And don't get me wrong, it's not just they have first run movies on there, like big, like RoboCop's on there.
Yeah, see, that's
Jaws.
what fooled me.
Yeah,
I just thought that's all it was. So
It's funny that you
Jess,
mentioned canon movies. Oh, you're welcome, Bill.
Thank you.
I hope I turned you on to something big.
Oh, you turned me on, but it's those glasses. Oh, Dana, I'm sorry.
That's all right. We're good.
I apologize.
Thanks a lot, Bill.
I got her off her track, finally. That's what I'm good at.
So, Married to Bala. I just watched it, Married to Bala. It's about a woman who she's domestic violence, and she is on the run from her husband, who is an NFL football star. And she and her two boys run from him, and it's like a remake of Sleeping with the Enemy.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's what it sounds like.
So they kind of follow that, but only they give you a lot of support to women who might be going through the same thing. But the acting in it is really good. And I know you keep bringing up Rotten Tomatoes and popcorn. They tore this movie. Critics tore this movie apart. That upsets me.
So make up a percentage for tomato and popcorn for this. Make your own up. What do you think it would be?
If you were to give it a review.
Maybe popcorn 23% and Rotten Tomatoes 80-some%. So
the critics love this?
So Rotten Tomatoes, there are people who love it.
So the tomato is the critic, the popcorn is the audience that have actually watched the movie.
So flip your numbers.
Okay, more people did not like it. They thought it was terrible.
Who did? The critics.
The critics.
So what number? 23?
I think 80% of critics did not like the movie.
Okay, so
sounds about right.
All right, got it.
Directed by Emily Skye, which is she's been around for a little while. I looked her up. She's really sexy. But she directed this, and I just really recommend it for a lot of reasons. Like Sleeping with the Enemy, Fatal Attraction. I love those movies. Right. So remakes of those movies. And also on Tubi, they have black cinema, a whole category of black cinema. And I love that.
Like what? What do you mean?
Just movies that feature a predominantly African-American cast. And some of those movies, like her and I will watch them and we just get hooked. Yeah, they're really, really good.
I find myself really liking the fashions and styles. So I wish I could dress like some of the women.
Or you could make an outfit from one of these movies. Just go get an outfit.
I don't have the booty to fill those outfits is the thing. They all have these nice butts and their lashes are, I'm a hairstylist and a cosmetologist, so I do lashes and all that. Their lashes are on point. I get a lot of ideas from it.
You are hilarious.
I started dressing a little differently. I got a little more
sassy.
Haven't I?
You're more sassy?
I've gotten a little more lenient. Or no, not lenient. I've been wearing some better outfits that show a little more.
Oh, boy.
And I'm
nice
inspired.
Hat. The hat is great, by the way. Thank you for wearing that. I don't know if that's just random or you wore that for me.
Tampa Bay Bucks, everyone. They
Bucks.
Lost last night to Dallas. Not happy about that, but we're still holding on.
Adds drama to the end of the season.
Yes, it does.
So Married to Bala. And after that, I don't have a whole lot more for Tubi movies.
Okay.
I'm moving on to movies I really enjoyed of 2024.
All right. Well,
in the box office.
Well, let's go ahead and let's get one of those movies real quick, and then because we want to keep with the 2-2 model. So give us one of those movies, and Bill, you'll let her know if this one is on your list, and if it is on your list one of the months, so we'll discuss it. So
The next movie that's in the box office, actually, it is on. We can watch it now from our living rooms. Is Carry On with Jason Bateman,
I just started it.
which they're trying to compare it to Die Hard. Not in your dreams.
No, it's no.
No, you missed the mark.
But you know why they're saying that? Just
Because
airport.
we're
and
hopeful
it's
to get another Die Hard again one day. Because how do you top Die Hard?
Well, and to be
You can't.
specific, if I haven't seen the movie, but if they're comparing it to Die Hard, they're obviously comparing it to Die Hard 2, because that's the one that takes place at the airport.
Look at you, Dana.
The
Way
first
to
Die
bring it
Hard
back.
is Nakatomi Plaza in downtown Los Angeles, or excuse me, Century City, Los Angeles.
Well,
Sorry, LA listeners.
They do try to take two average guys, Jason Bateman, Bruce Willis. When Bruce Willis started, he was just an average guy, didn't normally fit the role of John McClane.
This is 100% correct, because that's a very, very good point you make there, because listeners of the show will know that I had Glenn Gordon Caron on my show, who is the guy who created Moonlighting. And Glenn, if you're listening, can't wait to have you back on. But we had a long conversation about the casting of Bruce Willis in Moonlighting. And, when Moonlighting was in its second or third season, this is when Bruce was offered the role of John McClane. And Glenn even told Bruce, don't do that movie. Don't do Die Hard. Arnold's passed. Sylvester Stallone is passed. Everyone's passed. No one's going to buy you as an action hero. So you are absolutely correct. We all think of Bruce Willis as this big action guy now, but in 1988, when it was announced that he was going to star in this big action vehicle called Die Hard, a lot of people were like, David Addison, what was the wine cooler he did the advertisements for? Everybody laughed at that. So that's a valid point as far as making a Die Hard comparison.
Yeah, in this movie too. I mean, the kid's supposedly the security guard. I think he's from The Gentleman. He's kind of the one.
Taron Egerton, is that who the?
We should fact check, but he's the actual security guy. Bateman's the bad guy.
Bateman's the bad guy,
Yeah.
and to me, I love Jason Bateman and Bruce Willis. They're kind of similar in every movie. They're kind of like Jason Bateman always stays the dry, calm character that's cool, but cool on his feet, and then Bruce Willis. So I like that part. I like seeing Jason Bateman though in a bad guy role.
Yeah, I agree with you. No, I totally agree. And one more thing I want to say, because I'm only halfway or not even halfway. They kind of hide Jason Bateman at the beginning of the movie. You know it's him, but you don't see his face for a while. It's interesting.
I want to say one thing that has honestly turned me off from wanting to see the movie, of course, is the Die Hard comparisons. Like I see it on Facebook and all these news headlines is this Carry On is better than Die Hard. And it's so funny because if you look at the reactions, it's like tens of thousands of laughing emojis, like people that are laughing about that. But the other thing that made me say, I'll get to that when I get to it, was a PG-13 rating. I said, wait a second. If you're going to even try to be a Die Hard movie, I better see an R rating before I'm even going to be like, all right, I'm in.
That's probably the miss.
There are 5 Die Hard movies. Only one of them is rated PG-13, and that is Live Free or Die Hard from 2007, and it's the weakest of them.
I want to say one more thing about it. Jason Bateman's hair was on point.
All right.
In that movie.
Fan,
I like
you're a
it
fan.
long. I like it
So how
thick.
was Office Christmas Party? You are so bad. I'm just kidding. How was Office Christmas Party?
Amazing. I loved it.
That was so much fun.
Yeah, we had a
That
good
was so
time.
much fun.
Good time.
He's great in that.
Well, that's a whole nother movie. I wish that was from 2024.
I
We
know.
could recap
Well,
it.
we watched it in 2024.
All right, so we're going to just Bill.
Yes,
so
sir.
we're going to go back to you. Now we're on to May and June.
May 17th, Paramount Plus, 6.4 on the IMDb scale. Tomatoes only 50%. And I think that they are so far off. I disagree so much. Popcorn's at 86%. This is a movie that made me cry. Like, if I see a kind of a happy movie, this is a kid's movie. If I see a happy movie, I get very emotional. Very, like, not sad, happy. And my son looks at me, Dad, are you crying? I'm like, Cash, yes, I'm crying. There's 2 movies on my list where you're crying. But anyway, you're just, this movie's about discovering your inner child. Like, laugh out loud, cry out loud movie. John Krasinski, I think, writes a great movie. It's a great story. Emily Blunt's in this. Ryan Reynolds, Matt Damon's in this movie. I don't know why it didn't get more. I think it's a shame that it didn't get better ratings. The movie's called If, which stands for Imaginary Friend.
Yeah.
It's a sweet, sweet movie. If you have children, if you don't have children, you shouldn't be rating that movie, I say.
Right, and that's might be one of the reasons why I haven't seen the movie. because I just want to say, like, you've mentioned this already on the podcast in one of our catching up episodes from earlier.
Yeah, earlier in the
year.
year. I remember. Yep.
Yeah, I remember
I
mentioning
loved
this
it that much.
So I have a theory as to why it didn't take off the way it did.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's because Ryan Reynolds is in it, and people are just tired of The Rock and Ryan Reynolds and all that stuff. People overkill.
Do you think sometimes when there's too many leading actors and actresses in movies that they don't always get good reviews because it's just too powerful?
Yeah,
and they don't always land it because there's been so many movies that they have an all-star leading cast and.
I bet they're buddies though. Like John, he must be friends with him. Why wouldn't he want him? He's great in this movie. Like, don't just eliminate everything else. It's just I don't know. It drives me nuts.
In the 1980s, we couldn't wait for the next Arnold movie or the next Sylvester Stallone movie, and usually these guys would put out one movie a year. All right, and that's give you just long enough to anticipate that. But when you have people like Ryan Reynolds, The Rock, and stuff that are literally in 5 movies a year, it dilutes their brand to the point where it's just another Ryan Reynolds movie, and then a movie that means something to you, like If, just gets lost in the sea of monotony.
Well, it's a shame. I mean, I watched the movie for what it is, not Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
And don't be ashamed for crying in a movie. I've never
not.
seen Dana cry before except for one time recently. I introduced them to the movie. Everyone's going to be shocked. The Color Purple.
Yeah.
And
wow.
I can't believe he had never watched The Color Purple. It's
And
one
we're
of my
talking about the
favorites.
original,
The
the
original.
Steven Spielberg. Oh, at the end, I was a mess. A mess.
The last time I saw Dana cry is when I went to dinner in a movie at Ivy, and he saw the tip I left him. He started crying.
That's true.
Because it was so low. No, it wasn't. It was so high. He's like, oh my God. No. I probably should tip more.
Oh, bad. Buddy, listen.
He likes just your tip.
He does.
So-
but I'm good at just the tip. It works every time.
That's why he cried.
Yeah, he did.
And we're going to talk a little bit more about that in an upcoming episode coming out in January where we discuss the restaurant industry that you and I have already recorded.
Yes, beautiful. I can't wait.
So that'll come out in January. All right. So Bill, that was May. Give us June.
Well, we spent a lot of time on this. We the second one here in my little section of the show, we can go through fast if we want. Summer blockbuster, June 7th. Again, I'm going back to action. Brought the two partners back for one more ride or die. 97% popcorn. The fans of the show love it. Dana's already shaking his head. Tomatoes got 65%. Will Smith and Martin Lawrence try it one more time with Bad Boys Ride or Die. 6.5 on IMDb. Me and Mel grew up in the 80s and 90s, and in the 90s we were kind of already in high school, and that's kind of when Bad Boys started.
Are those dogs fresh?
I put them on yesterday.
Well, give me one and put some relish and some mustard on that motherfucker. Hook it up. Come on, hurry up. Yeah, no, that one right there. Yeah, that right there. Hurry up. Gotta go. Don't be taking your time. Yeah, my man. Oh.
Hey, open the register.
No.
Now!
Sir, today is not the day.
The fuck up!
Look, if I'm not in that car in 15 seconds, there's a very surly man that's coming in here and we both are fucked.
Marcus! Hey, don't fucking move! The fuck over there!
Hey, Mike, I told this guy I had to go.
Is that Skittles on the counter, Marcus?
Well, he was taking a long time with the ginger ale.
That is incorrect. He grabbed that ginger ale the second he came in here.
A hot dog, Marcus? You're not supposed to be eating that shit.
This is not mine, Mike.
Yes, it is.
Mind your business with your tattletailing ass.
Everybody shut the fuck up!
Sir, I'm gonna need you to lower your weapon.
Come take my weapon then, motherfucker.
Don't antagonize him.
Marcus, get in the car.
Mikey has a gun to my head.
Wanna deal with him, you wanna deal with me?
Sorry, sir, but I gotta go. You didn't have to shoot him, Mike. Get in the car. Call 911.
Aren't you the police?
Again, I eliminate what goes on with these actors, and I just watched the movie, but lots of action, well done, cool music, great scenes. The story it works. I love the end, but again, it's predictable. I get it. It's obvious what's going to happen, but we laugh, and I loved it. It's good. If you like Bad Boys, you'll love it.
We saw it. We watched it together.
All right,
We saw the film. So I saw the original Bad Boys 1995. That was also Michael Bay's first movie, and I remember thinking there's going to be some major,
Doesn't he have a cameo in it?
He has a cameo in this one, and he has a cameo in the last one. So Michael Bay directed the first two Bad Boy movies, and then it's a directing duo. They're actually from Belgium. Forgive me for not remembering the names. They directed the Bad Boys Forever, which I bet they wish they could have flipped those titles.
Yeah.
Bad Boys Forever would have been a much better title for this one. I'm going to say something, okay? So I love the first Bad Boys movie. I think Bad Boys 2 is so bloated in a way, but in a good way. It's 2 hours. It's 2.5 hours long. But the third one I was not huge on. This is the Bad Boys Forever. I was not huge on that film. It didn't get me. This one I would put above the third film, but it was lacking. It was lacking Michael Bay. It really it was. The action scenes were good in this film. It was good. The best part of this movie,
oh, I know it,
is when Reggie defends when he defends the home. Now, Reggie, for those who haven't seen this movie, in Bad Boys 2, Reggie is the teenage boy that's taking out Martin Lawrence's daughter on a date, and they kind of fuck with him for a little bit. By this point, he's now a Marine, but that scene right there elevated the movie to a different level for me. So I consider it to be a very watchable movie. It's enjoyable, but also forgettable because I haven't thought about it since you just brought it up.
No, I agree, and I agree with you. Yeah. But we went because it's Bad Boys.
I also forgot about it. Martin Lawrence stole the show on that movie.
He was funny.
And I thought the best part was when he was hiding behind the jelly beans and that they shot the jar of jelly beans and it flies and it lands on his tongue. That was so funny.
Because he was chasing sugar. I mean, if you love these guys, then it's fun. Trust me, I didn't watch it again, but we had a blast. It's fun.
I will say, I applaud them for keeping this series rated R.
Exactly.
Because we live in a world where it's the studio behind this film could have very easily said, well, we'll give you whatever you want, but you got to make a PG-13 movie so we can get more asses in the seats.
Right.
So I applaud them for that.
Gotcha, man.
All right, Jess, give us a couple more.
So you mentioned canon films. I could sit all day long and just watch canon films. That is my favorite. I love mostly all the canon films. I just wanted to say that. But there is the movie that I thought was just watchable, but I think you might be in agreement with this, is Trap.
Trap. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Is Trap on your list?
It's not, but it could have been.
Okay, so Trap.
This whole concert, it's a trap.
Be aware of what we're dealing with. He's going to be charming, sympathetic. To your nervous system, he'll be telling the truth.
Somebody help me, please!
He's going to try to use chaos to get by us.
What's going on, Dad?
Trap. I'm in control. Only in theaters August 2nd.
Okay, please, and I'll give you my thoughts, yeah.
Well, Josh Hartnett's hair was way better in this movie than any of the other movies he's ever been in.
I love the hair game. You look at the hair game.
It means a lot.
Okay.
My job's important. But Josh Hartnett making a comeback also.
Yep.
But Dana,
M.
the
Night
director's
Shyamalan.
name. Dana, does he fund his own films?
You know, it's interesting. So M. Night Shyamalan starts he starts in 99 really big with The Sixth Sense.
Crushed.
Okay, crushed it.
Crushed.
Then he's going to do Unbreakable, great movie. He's going to do Signs, phenomenal film. Then he's going to start to sputter just a little bit with 2004's The Village. Then it's going to start going down a little bit more with The Lady in the Water. And then what happens is two more films come out that just kind of, he loses those big giant checks the studios would write him to make whatever he wants. And that is going to be The Happening. And then he did a version of Avatar, The Last Airbender. And after that, the studio was like, all right, no more money for you, M. Night. So much so that when Will Smith asked him to direct the movie After Earth, the studio said, yes, we'll let M. Night direct the film, but we won't put his name in any of the marketing. So I saw the trailers for After Earth probably 3 times differently. And it wasn't until I looked it up that I'm like, holy shit, this is a movie by M. Night Shyamalan? Like they're going out of their way to hide this
because his name
had become toxic. So what happens is, you asked if he was an independent filmmaker. Well, he becomes an independent filmmaker after this. He starts making a lot of movies for $5 and $10 million budgets. You know, the studios are like, yes, we'll give you money and we'll distribute the film, but we're only going to give you $10 million. So he starts making movies like Split and Old and Knock at the Cabin and all these little movies, and they end up making a ton of money. So he starts independently financing his films. And now the studios are like, well, we're ready to go back.
Now
we're ready to be back in the M. Night.
And did he do that with this?
Trap, I don't know 100%. Trap feels like it's got a little bit bigger budget than the last few movies that he's done.
Remember the strike that went on,
Yeah.
and then no one was making movies. Well, during that, he funded that movie, so that's how they were able to keep recording and finishing the movie Trap. And did you all know it was based on a true story?
No.
It was the Operation Flagship. It was a bunch of inmates, like 101 inmates, and they were at the Washington Convention Center.
Yeah, they thought they were getting tickets to the Super Bowl. So do you remember the movie Sea of Love with Al Pacino?
Oh, yeah.
At the beginning of the movie where they pretend to be at breakfast with the Yankees, and all these people get invitations in the mail to show up, but all of them had active warrants. And so that's exactly what happened with this one she's talking about. Everybody thought they were getting tickets to the Super Bowl.
Psych.
They show up. And it was like a huge production. Like they spent a ton of money. The police did convincing these people of Washington, Redskins, logos everywhere, balloons, everyone's in tuxedos. And they got them all in there and they just basically
Lock
said,
the doors.
yeah.
Well, what did you think of the movie? Just watchable? Because
Trap?
I thought
it was awesome.
they spent too much time at the concert, obviously.
But that's his spin on it.
He was promoting his daughter's singing career, which she's very talented, but
I thought Trap was great.
It was cool. I liked it.
Watchable.
I wondered how he was going to get out of the concert. Spoiler alert. He gets out of the concert and there's still another 45 minutes left in the movie.
That's what was interesting.
That's when the movie started to get better. I popped another bag of popcorn.
Oh.
So I was actually super impressed with the film. And I would, I haven't seen enough movies this year to even do a top 10 list. But if I was to do one, Trap would certainly be in there. I was entertained.
The lead actor, you really bought into.
Josh Hartnett.
Yeah, he was good. He did a great job kind of trying to be crazy.
He's always good, though.
Yeah, he was great.
My big takeaway from this movie was not realizing just how tall he was.
He's a big dude.
He's like 6'4".
Yeah.
It's hard to hide that.
Never picked up on that in movies like The Faculty or H2O or.
I still think that was his best movie, Halloween H2O.
Trap, big recommendation for me.
Me too. I loved it.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, it's a watch.
What's your next movie?
Okay, Subservierance, Megan Fox.
Subservierance.
Is there a V?
Subservierance.
Wow, okay.
With Megan Fox.
Isn't Megan Fox in those Transformers? She was in one. I think she was in one.
She was actually in two. It's a really interesting story. It's not funny. It's interesting.
Funny,
because,
haha.
Well, it's what happens when you say something disparaging about the most powerful man in Hollywood's religious background. So Megan Fox, after she'd done the first two Transformers movies, she was being interviewed by Variety or People magazine, one of these trade papers, and she asked what it was like to work for Michael Bay. And she equated it or compared it to what it must have been like to work for Hitler. And the problem that she probably wasn't thinking about at the time was that the Transformers movies, although directed by Michael Bay, were produced by Steven Spielberg. And as soon as Steven Spielberg heard that, and he's known to be a super nice guy, Spielberg. Like everybody I've talked to that knows him, that spent a lot of time with him, he's a really nice guy. But there's certain lines you don't cross. And as soon as he heard that, they were just about to start filming the third Transformers movie, which she was supposed to be in. Spielberg picked up the phone, called Michael Bay, said, she's out, and her career has never recovered from that.
Oh, I disagree, because Subservierance, that movie is
Sub-V.
really cool. Sub-V, we'll call it Sub-V.
Sub-V.
I really liked it. So she plays a robot nanny
I'm out.
in the movie.
I'm out. Yeah, I'm out.
But she's
I'm done.
And really, talk about a beautiful woman.
I agree, but I said her career has never recovered.
No, she's a robot nanny.
Wrong. What about Till Death? Did you guys see Till Death?
No.
Out.
Oh, it's so good. That one's really good.
I can just Google Megan Fox and look some photos. I don't need to watch a bad
That's
movie.
hilarious. Robot nanny, I'm out.
Well, you know what? She's got the same thumbs as me. So there.
Oh.
She's got the pug thumb on one hand.
Oh, my
and
God. Again. Oh, I'm out.
We both have it.
Oh, my goodness.
And that's, it comes from
what?
British royalty. So.
I'm glad you know that.
But no, the movie's really good. And
I think we need to talk.
Of course.
The things we've been doing, we can't do it anymore. You understand that, right?
Were you not satisfied with my performance? Because your physiological output suggested that you were.
It's just wrong. That's wrong. You know, I have a wife. I have kids. I should never, ever have done it.
Having sex with me reduced your stress levels.
Stop analyzing me all the time. Jesus. It's not just fulfilling others' needs. It's about the connection. It's about love. It's about satisfying the other.
Would you like to satisfy me?
I would like for us to move on, you know. Here, you have a job. I've made a mistake, that's all.
Ready?
That's all. Let's go.
But she's almost too beautiful. Like Chris Hemsworth is almost too attractive.
Yeah,
like
but he's tough though. He's.
But he's almost not real. She's got the same almost. If they show a lot of her body in this movie,
Oh, I'm
and
in.
It's like,
I'm back in.
Holy
I'm back.
cow.
I'm back in.
No,
I'm back in.
then you will like it because.
No.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm in.
There's
I'm
not
all
one
in.
flaw on her, which I love beauty, so I think that's
What's
great.
it called? Oh, this is Sub B.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Plays a robot nanny. I'm out. Shows her body a lot. I'm in.
Listeners
I'm
are
back
like,
in.
listeners are like, all right, I know Searcy. I got this guy now. Okay, action movies and Sub V.
That was good. That was good.
Does that say No Way Out? That's a great movie.
Yeah,
No
Kevin
Way
Costner.
Up.
No Way Up.
No Way Up.
Oh, I like No Way Out. How
I know
about
it's not my turn.
Presidio? I'm totally jumping. I'm
Presidio. Mark
Shut me up.
Harmon.
Presidio.
Yeah, Sean Connery.
Awesome.
How about Black Rain?
Wow,
Oh,
very
yeah,
good.
Ridley Scott movie. We're going to be talking about Ridley Scott in just a
She
little
knows
bit.
how to get to Dana's heart.
Because I love that. I'm from there too. I love those movies.
Yeah.
Presidio's when Sean Connery says, "I'll beat that guy up with the one thumb."
That's right.
That's great.
Yep, good movie.
When movies were movies.
That's
That's
correct.
true. We could just do
We
one
just
on
transition
that.
into an episode of When Movies Were
Please
Movies.
go back. I just rudely interrupted your glasses are so pretty. They look so nice.
Thanks.
They match the Bucks logo there.
Yes.
All right, go with your pug thumb. I'm sorry. Go back.
British royalty,
Yeah,
also
royalty.
called Potter's Thumb. Megan Fox took a lot of slack for that, calling
Wow.
her not attractive because of it. And I laugh in society's face if that's what they think.
They're
Okay.
they're hideous.
All
to
right,
think
so that was Subservience. Okay.
Oh, good.
Subservience.
Subservience. Okay. And
Say it without spitting.
do you remember how on what app you watched that on?
Wait, say it, don't spray it.
Do you remember on what app you watched that on?
Netflix.
Netflix. Okay, so it's on Netflix. Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Perfect. All right, so we had Trap and Subservience. All right, Bill, we're back to you.
Got another one you hate.
Oh, go.
I love it. 75% tomatoes, 90 popcorn, 6.5 on the IMDb. Glenn Powell's Summer.
I like this movie.
Oh, okay, good. Super action packed.
Oh, never. I thought you were talking about The Hitman.
Yeah, no,
Never
it's
mind.
not. Yep. See, here we go. Back down. Fire tornadoes.
We watched this.
Okay,
We
yeah,
watched
yeah.
this.
They had a fire tornado. in
Oh,
this.
Twister, too.
Twisters.
Yay,
Yeah,
good
Twisters.
one, Bill. Good one.
Twisters, the plural. It's on Peacock. 6.5 on the IMDb. July 19th. Fun ride, good story. I think it did a service to the first one. I don't think it's the same, but it didn't hurt the first one. It's not really, I don't think it did anything bad. Very fun to watch. Another one of these things that I don't have to think. I can just sit back and enjoy. Go.
All right, listen, I'm going to go say something maybe that's a little bit controversial, and maybe some of us are hit by the nostalgic bug. I saw Twister, the original one, 1996. I saw it twice in the theater, the first week that it came out. All right. And I was, like most of us, we were blown away by the visuals because we're still...
No pun intended.
No pun intended. We're still in the beginning stages of good CGI. Okay, so it was still a spectacle to see these tornadoes on screen. And if you watch the first Twister movie, they're not on screen very often because it was difficult to make those. We live in a world now where it's snap your fingers and we've got whatever twisters you want. But if you really go back and watch the Twister and get the original Twister and get the spectacle out of your mind, it's a really hokey movie. It's fun.
Yeah.
But it's not the best action movie of the 90s, not even close. It wouldn't even be my top 20. But it has that nostalgia factor for us. So watching Twisters, I think Twisters is a better movie.
I thought that's where you're going to go
than the original.
And
Twister.
I agree.
In every sense of the like. If the original Twister didn't exist and we got this movie and it was called Twister, I think it's a knockout. I think they knock it out of the park.
Wow.
So I found it a very watchable film, obviously.
Fun fact, didn't you say that they used some of the original props from the first movie in the second?
They're in there. You can see the Dorothy and you can see some of the other stuff
truck,
in there.
though?
The truck, yeah, absolutely.
But that's cool. There's I love that part. I love that, what they do. I like that. I like that they put it in.
I didn't see Twisters in the theater because who gives a shit? It was just another sequel.
Right.
And, but when we watched it at home, I was like, this is, this is
I don't
entertaining.
think they copied it a little too much. There's not a whole lot. They almost followed the same plot as the
but
first
I kind of
one.
like that. To me, I like that. But I agree with you.
Put
You're
that
right.
in your back pocket, copying something, because that's something I'm going to say a little later on about a movie you and I saw in the theater a few weeks ago.
I know what you're talking about.
For the record, Dana's giving her the look.
Well, before I go back to what I know he's going to say, because it goes off of my favorite movie of all time, I want to say about Carry On, the movie with Jason Bateman.
Is this a flashback?
Oh, so we're going back to earlier in the episode.
Yeah, I forgot
this
to
is
say
a flashback.
something about it because I am not a fan of CGI. I hate it. And there is a scene in Carry On that when they're on the freeway that is so bad, which is CGI, is so fake that for me it ruined the whole movie.
For me, that's Speed.
Oh.
Speed.
The bus jump. That's so
But
weak.
they really did the bus jump.
Oh,
with
Bill,
a invisible ramp.
Yeah, but they really jumped a bus with a ramp. That wasn't
That's
a CGI.
cool, but in the movie you don't
that
know
wasn't
that.
a CGI bus.
I know. See, I knew this.
But that wasn't a CGI bus. That was a real
Go
bus.
easy on them, Dana.
Okay.
No,
All right.
they jumped a
Listen.
bus off the ramp.
I know it all because I listen to your show, and your show's amazing.
Yeah,
but I'm telling you, when I watch
barely
Speed,
any CGI.
look at Dana. I love it.
There's
I
barely
love
any
this.
CGI in Speed.
I'm not saying
Boys,
CGI.
calm down.
When I watched Speed the first time,
Yeah.
and the bus goes in the air, we're all like, "Oh my goodness, that is so fake." But we didn't know. It would have been better to know that they jumped the damn thing.
They really did.
I know that's cool, but
This part in scene and Karen looks like they're from Avatar. It is.
did I just compare Speed to Carry On?
You did. You did.
I'm never going to be allowed on the show ever again.
All
Who's
right.
that guy?
All right. So
that's the thing now.
all right. So we're
Yes, sir.
okay. So that was Twisters. All right.
Yeah. All right.
Tell me your next one.
Let's go really quick. So I actually picked this movie so I could reference another movie.
Okay.
Because this one's so bad. August, I don't have the date, but in August, 32% tomatoes, 50 popcorn. So that's not very good. This movie's ridiculous. It's stupid. It's one that just doesn't make any sense, and it's horribly done. But you still end up watching the whole thing. So the movie,
Like a Tubi movie.
Oh, I guess it probably should be. So this is called Jackpot with an exclamation point at the end.
Jackpot.
Okay, it's John Cena. He has this company that in the world that you live in, when you win the lottery in this world, everyone can just go try to murder you, and if they murder you before you get to the headquarters, then they win they win the jackpot. They win the lottery. So when your name gets called for the lottery, it's almost like a death sentence. So John Cena's job is for 10%, he'll protect you to get you to the.
That sounds like the best fucking movie of all time.
Go crazy. And Aquafina's in this too. She's kind of funny.
Okay, well, don't spoil anything else about that because that just sounds like the greatest movie ever.
It's ridiculous, but you end up watching the whole thing.
Oh,
right?
I'm in for 10%. He'll protect you.
Yes,
that's the best.
And he'll get you. He's like, but there's another company that takes more money, and they're guaranteed to keep you alive. We're seen as this side shitty generic company. So he ends up hiring her. It's ridiculous.
I'm in. I haven't
Sold.
heard of it, but I'm in.
Jackpot.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to talk about Ricky Stenicki. But
that's funny.
Oh, that's hilarious.
That's interesting.
Yes,
because we watched Ricky Stenicki about a month and a half ago, and the pedigree of the movie, obviously, it's a Farrelly Brothers film. So if I say Farrelly Brothers, obviously, we're talking about Dumb and Dumber, Kingpin, There's Something About Mary, Me, Myself, and Irene, Stuck on You. I mean, these are all
huge.
These are big movies. The Heartbreak Kid, but
like comedy classics.
So I'm ready to watch this film. And Ricky Stenicki, for those that don't know, it's a group of three guys who, ever since they were kids, whenever they would get in trouble, they would blame their imaginary friend, Ricky Stenicki. Oh, Ricky Stenicki burned the house down, or Ricky Stenicki did
everything. And then they grow up and they're still doing it.
And they have this text message chain from Ricky Stenicki. They have this whole thing going on. And so I'm in.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you, the first 40 minutes of the movie for me was a slog to get through. I was not enjoying the film at all. I was like, this is kind of crap.
It was bad.
Until, and I don't want to spoil this because I don't even want to spoil who it is that they use. They have, basically the plot is they have to produce Ricky Stenicki to their wives and to their family. Because some crazy shit has gone down, and they're going to be in huge trouble if they don't actually produce this imaginary friend.
They finally have to reveal him.
And they when they finally find the person to become Ricky Stenicki, and again, I don't want to say who it is, and that person then becomes the character, the movie takes off.
It does.
Takes off.
It's so much better.
It was so good.
So much better.
Yeah. So I stress to the listeners out there, get through the first 40, 45 minutes of the movie. It gets so much better.
And Jackpot, let me know.
Oh, yeah. No, we're going to put that on the list quickly.
I giggled from the get-go because me and my girlfriends used to throw the burning poop on the neighbor's doorstep, but only we never burnt the house down.
He called the shit poop.
Yeah. And then Napoleon Dynamite in the beginning when he was dragging his action figure out the bus window.
Yeah.
I used to have a little thing called a glamour girl, and I tied her to a little string, and I would drag my glamour girl out my bus window and watch it drag. So it was like from the beginning, it reminded me of my childhood. I did weird things like that too.
So you relate to all these crazy movies.
Yeah, it made me think I was somewhat normal. So that made me feel better about myself.
You are.
I'm a little bit different.
No, you are.
Those movies made me feel like I was actually not.
Yeah, right.
All right.
Yeah. So what do you think, Dana?
I liked Ricky Stenicki.
Yeah. It was the hilarious concept.
I did. All right. So we're
moving on here.
We're moving on to wait. Was Jackpot just one you're talking about for fun, or did you have?
No, that was it.
Okay.
That was a month. That
all
was
right. Jess, you got another one?
Well, my favorite movie of all time is Gladiator,
Okay.
period. Hands down, Gladiator. So
Love
when
it.
Dana told me a year ago that they were making a Gladiator 2, I thought, oh, what?
Not only are they making a Gladiator 2, but it's directed by Ridley Scott, who did the first one.
Who is how old?
He's 84 years old.
I thought 86.
Well, he's okay. So he's in his mid 80s.
Late 80s.
Not as old as Clint Eastwood, who we're going to talk about in a minute.
Another.
Thank you for that recommendation, by the way.
Well, so you said earlier that you were going to mention a movie that followed the same kind of plot like Twisters.
Yeah. Oh, well, we're talking about movies that just repeat themselves.
Are you referring to Gladiator 2?
I am referring to Gladiator 2. Okay, let me just say this, all right? You and I saw it the weekend it came out. We had planned that for months. Like, it wasn't even like... We plan our schedules out way in advance. We know the trips we're taking. We know all the different places we're going. And that was circled on the calendar, Gladiator 2, the Sunday that it comes out.
We're VIP.
And so we went and saw it. Epic Theater, their big XLR screen or whatever it's called. And I was, like her, very, very excited to watch the movie. And while watching the movie, it was really good.
Okay.
We had a great time. Wouldn't you agree? It was good.
I loved it.
It was great. And then
I want to see it again, actually.
I'll go with you.
As we're walking to the car afterwards, I'm starting to think about it a little bit. And I'm like, really followed the same formula of the original film. And then the more I thought about it in the days and weeks afterwards, I'm like, we have a Hangover 2 situation on our hands here. We have a Hangover 2 situation.
Same exact.
The
everything.
exact same plot,
Yeah.
but slightly different. And that's Gladiator 2. I don't want to spoil it, but it opens up with a big battle sequence. Our main hero's wife is killed. He gets taken prisoner. He's forced to become a gladiator. We have really epic battles in the gladiator scene. There's not one but two crazy emperors this time. Our hero has a plot to escape and to raise an army to overthrow the emperor, but the emperors overthrow him, and then he's forced to fight one more fight.
Same movie.
It's the same movie.
Starring Denzel Washington.
Yeah,
Love him.
But it's the same. It's literally the same movie. But that I put a huge caveat on that because
that's a big word.
I put a huge caveat on that because it's also a really well done movie.
So what if you just watched this?
If you had never
and
seen
you
the
never
original,
saw Gladiator,
okay,
You'll give it a
it's a
thumbs up.
Yeah.
Oh, you fooled me there.
Yeah.
You went down and then up. I saw that.
So definitely,
Sneaky.
it's definitely it would be a thumbs
Okay.
up. It would be a
Got
thumbs
it.
up. It's,
Very
it's
little
a-
CGI for what it is. Wouldn't you agree?
Whoa.
Well, I would disagree immensely
Isn't there
on
like
that one.
jungle animals?
Yeah,
Okay.
I would say it's a ton of CGI.
You know, I stand corrected. I forgot about the baboons and the sharks.
Don't spoil the one. Yeah,
well-
but don't spoil the one. The
Sharks
Well, back-
floating in the
Well, they
dirt.
did used to flood the Coliseum.
They flood the Coliseum.
Okay. Oh,
Okay,
my
whatever.
God.
Spoiler.
And
So
they
there's
were-
a scene where they're fighting on boats in the Coliseum, and there's sharks in the water.
You got to
Great
be kidding
whites,
me.
and you know the Romans were the first to have actual plumbing.
Yeah, it's
but
true.
That's how they were
Irrigation.
able to flood in
See
the
this face?
Coliseum.
This is me trying not to laugh.
Oh,
Face.
okay.
But here's the thing. There's a scene involving a rhinoceros, which is badass.
Steals the show.
Badass.
Okay.
In fact, that's the
Unfortunately,
reason I
it's,
wanna see it again.
it's in the trailer. I wish it wasn't.
Why didn't they just call this The Lion King?
Right.
Ha ha.
So, it's and the CGI. I'm gonna be honest with
Jungle
you.
Book.
The CGI, like the baboon CGI, not good.
Oh.
But
It's
definitely
actually-
But the
entertaining.
shark scene.
The shark scene.
That one was Upid Stay.
Did the other gladiators say we're going to need a bigger boat?
Oh, if they would have, that would have got a huge recommendation for me. So Gladiator 2 falls into this weird category where it's not on its own. It's not a bad movie, but compared to the original, it doesn't hold a candle.
You know, some give it Rotten Tomatoes or popcorn. I give it a fan of the fingers under the nose. A stinky
we
poo.
have to come up with a name.
A
for
stinky
that.
poo.
So,
man.
so you're not recommending the movie?
I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
In
Oh,
fact,
she likes
I want to
it.
see it again and not being a fan of CGI. I stand corrected, but I can tolerate it because I love movies like that.
I mean,
How was his hair? Denzel doesn't have any hair.
The
on him.
gladiators. No, I'm sorry. The emperor. One of the emperors has really good hair.
Okay.
And I don't want to get her name wrong, but she was the emperor's sister in the first one.
and she replies her role. I can't remember her name. So
We'll scratch that part.
I mean,
out.
this movie.
Jennifer Fox. Megan Fox.
This movie is a sequel to the original film.
Yeah, it says
it's,
two.
Yeah,
two eyes.
So it's not like it's like just a standalone story inside the Gladiator universe. It's a direct sequel to the original film.
Right, it furthers the story.
Yeah, it takes place 16 years after
Is
the
it
events.
his son or something, probably?
Connie Nielsen.
Connie Nielsen. Yeah, that's her name.
She was beautiful in the first Gladiator, where she said, he was a soldier of Rome. Honor him.
He looks like he's swole a little there.
That's
why
why
is
he
he so
wasn't-
swole?
Poor Russell Crowe didn't age very good.
What's that movie where he goes bonkers, like falling down or whatever?
What
The driver.
what's the name of
Road
it?
Rage. Road Rage.
Yeah,
He went nuts in that movie.
It came out in 2020,
Road
so
Rage.
it got lost in the shuffle. But I know what you're talking about.
It was
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
It was a horrible movie.
So okay,
Okay.
do you have another one?
September 20th, Transformers 1.
You'll have to let me know.
Okay, so this is the origin story of Optimus Prime and Megatron. So it shows them as they're kind of young, becoming. So they start as friends. Can you imagine this?
Does it feature Megan Fox's thumb?
No,
Then
she's
I'm
not.
out.
Her thumb's in it, but not her.
Oh,
She's
okay.
out.
I'll watch it.
Okay, this is what I'll say: 89% tomatoes.
Sure.
That's almost 90% for the record, and 98% popcorn. And Hemsworth, Scarlett Johansson, Keegan-Michael.
Hold. You left out one glaring part of this.
Chris Hemsworth.
No. It's an animated film.
It is
so
animated.
These are actors voicing characters.
Dang it! I was trying to do that fast.
Okay.
It is a cartoon.
You fucked it all up, Bill.
It is.
It's
it is
good.
a cartoon.
It's well done. You get to learn everything about.
Because I have to tell you,
Kids movie.
The burning question I had going through this whole year is what happened to the relationship between Megatron and Optimus Prime.
Now you can sleep tonight.
I'm glad it got answered.
You can finally have that old fashioned and just put it to bed.
Put it to bed.
It's done.
So
all right, moving on.
Well, no, but probably again, there's a real theme and pattern to a lot of the movies you're recommending. These are movies you took your son to in the
Half
theater.
of my movies are kids.
which is totally understandable. And I'm telling you right now, as a
My
10-year-old,
son's 8.
I saw Transformers the movie, the animated film, back in 1984 or 85 when it came out as a 7 or 8-year-old, and it was the greatest thing I ever saw in my life.
You would like this movie, Dana.
Absolutely.
All right, so October 25th. This is another movie I took my kid to. It's probably PG-13. He probably shouldn't have went to it, but Venom: The Last Dance. It's the last of a trilogy. Tom Hardy.
Thank God.
Yeah, it's done too.
No. I'm going to stop you there for a second.
Yeah.
The entire All right, I know we're running short on time here, but I went real quick. Okay, so
probably should put a real movie in here.
if you're looking at the Marvel Cinematic Universe, fun fact: Sony owns the rights to the character of Spider-Man. Okay, Disney does not own the rights to Spider-Man. So anytime Spider-Man appears in a Marvel movie, Disney has to pay Sony a licensing fee to put Spider-Man in that. So one of the things that Sony has tried to do is create its own, multiverse, its own franchise of Spider-Man villains. Okay?
Yeah.
Which is
Octo.
Which is like Madam Web. Which the one that came out last year where Jared Leto plays the vampire bat guy or whatever.
Yep.
Whatever that was called. Morbius.
Yep.
Morbius. Okay. Venom. And then just most recently last week, Kraven the Hunter.
Venom's good.
So these are all Sony property. These are all Spider-Man property that Sony owns. And every one of them has failed. Okay. So Sony has officially pulled the plug, and they're looking to sell the rights of Spider-Man back to Marvel.
They've had enough.
They've had enough. Every one of them has failed.
They're done.
Yeah.
November 8th, Elevation. Have you even heard of it?
Elevation. It sounds familiar.
Oh, I can't wait to tell you the plot of this one.
Let's go.
Oh, yes. Have you seen A Quiet Place?
Yeah, the first 30 minutes.
You didn't. There's a second one. You didn't see both.
There's a third one. There's
When?
also A Quiet Place Day 1 came out.
Oh, I
this
saw
year.
that too. I saw it. All right, so there's 3. I've seen all of them. So you know the premise of that: the aliens come into Earth.
Yeah.
If you make a noise, they can
eat
you. So this one, so-called aliens come up out of the Earth, but they can't go higher than 80,000 feet in elevation. So all the people that survived on the planet are living on top of like mountaintops.
80,000?
No, I'm sorry, 8,000.
8,000 feet.
Fact
Okay.
check there.
Yeah.
8,000 feet.
So everybody's living at elevations higher than.
So like Colorado, so the movie takes place in like the Rockies, Colorado Rockies area.
That's interesting.
It is. So they're all living up there. Now the main actor in this is the new, God, I hate to go back to Marvel, but the new Captain America, Anthony Mackie.
Oh, the new Captain America.
Yes, which to me, I think the previews look kind of cool. But anyway, sure. But anyway, can't live. They think that they are aliens. They're some form of, obviously not from this planet, right? But they cannot cross 8,000 feet.
Is this because they can't breathe above 8,000 feet, or is that good answer?
They kind of left that open at the end.
Okay.
They never really figured out, but they found out something.
Can you feed them after midnight?
You can't, and you can't get them wet. But the premise is that Mackey's character, his son has some sort of like asthma issue, and he's running out of oxygen. I mean, there's only so many supplies that they could have up there, and they've been up there for like 2 years or
right.
2.5
Okay,
years.
I gotcha.
So he's trying to get to Boulder, Colorado Medical Center to get oxygen because they know it's there. So he's trying to go below 8,000 feet to go, right? And once you get down there, eventually they're going to, come get you, right?
Right.
But he's also, as a scientist, she's trying to figure out how to kill these things. So she goes along this track, and they go try to get the oxygen.
Okay.
So that's the premise of the movie.
All right. So is it a recommend?
If you like some of the stupid shit movies that I like, then yeah, it's 100% recommend.
Love it. Love it. All right. Next.
And then December. So I didn't have one for December, and then I watched one yesterday, which you're going to hate this as well. I love movies you hate. 30% tomato. So this got crushed everywhere, but 90% popcorn. It's a Christmas movie, but it's an action Christmas movie. It just jumped on Amazon, but it's at the movie theaters right now.
I already know what you're talking about.
Red One.
Red One, yeah.
I thought it did well.
I think it's really well done. It's an excellent action movie. It has good ties to Christmas. You get to meet Krampus, which is cool. I think it's great. Evans is another Captain America there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's slight cheesiness here, but overall, I think it's very watchable. It is PG-13 though, because you think it's a Christmas movie, and all of a sudden there's bad language and stuff for like an 8-year-old. But my son thinks it's funny. So
all right,
like
anyway.
give me an example of the bad language.
Shit, asshole.
They
that
say
kind
that
of stuff.
they have to say that. Aw.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like maybe fart. Or
No.
that.
Shit and asshole and stuff like kind of in that area.
Boob.
And he almost said, I think he said F-bomb.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you said F-bomb or the actual
F-bomb.
word?
No, he didn't drop an F-bomb. I think he says F-bomb. Anyway.
All right.
I think I'm done.
All right. Well, that's an excellent list from both of you. I want to just do a couple little rapid fire on my end here. Just a couple of movies that I've seen.
That means fast.
That I've seen. That I saw this year, or in some cases attempted to watch and then just gave up on after 10 or 12 minutes. All right.
That's pretty fast.
Yes. All right. So first one I'm going to put on my list is The Fall Guy, starring Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt.
Watched it all. It's not that good.
8 minutes. The next one on my list is going to be Alien Romulus, which I saw in the theater, and I thought was of a lot of the Alien. They've made a lot.
You
of
love that series.
I'm a fan of half of that series.
Okay.
This movie, visually speaking, looks amazing. You can tell they really took their time with the production design and all this stuff, but really disappointed, let down.
The plot, like for me, I don't care about all this stuff. So is it visually, it's cool looking? Is it action good? Is it writing good?
It gets there. There's a scene involving no gravity and the aliens and the acid blood floating in the air, and they have to kind of navigate around it, which is really well done.
Started out boring.
Is there any
got
cheesy?
Good.
Is it cheesy?
The ending just was
certainly not cheesy.
Okay.
Yeah.
The ending went kaput for me.
All right. So now on to the next one on my list: Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire. 9 minutes. I was out.
Love it.
Okay.
Love it.
All right.
So much fun.
A movie that came out last year, but I saw the first part of this year, was called Late Night with the Devil, which is kind of like a found footage movie, but instead of being like found footage, it was a late night talk show, like Johnny Carson style from the 1970s, where something crazy happens, and it's actually really well done.
What's that one again?
Late Night with the Devil. It's a horror movie.
Like blood and killing?
I mean, it was more like satanic.
Gosh, I'm out.
Okay, but it's actually really well done.
Okay.
Good recommendation.
Heard that.
All right. The award for the movie I thought I was going to hate, but I actually enjoyed the hell out of, was the Jake Gyllenhaal Roadhouse remake. Great movie. I wish they would have given it a different title. It would have done much better.
Yeah.
I thought it was a lot of fun.
Are they going to do another one?
I'm sure they will.
I like that. I love that. That was great.
Right.
Don't mess with Masterpiece.
Here's a movie that
He has good hair, too.
that I was slightly interested in until I started watching it, and that was Beverly Hills Axel F.
Yeah.
Very disappointing. We talked about Civil War. I'm just going through my list real quick. I liked Civil War. Ghostbusters. Okay. Deadpool and Wolverine. 10 minutes in this movie, I said, what the fuck am I doing?
Oh.
Not my movie.
Not for you.
We talked about Trap. All right. Furioso, a Mad Max saga. All right. I love Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah.
This is a good movie. This is a good movie.
It's good.
It's good.
Yeah.
The big fatal flaw for me in this film is when you watch Fury Road from 2015, it is so much practical stunt work and effects. It looks amazing. And the fact that 10 years later, George Miller decides to go so CGI heavy in the film that it looks like crap.
Does the time period take, is it same?
It's a prequel. It leads up.
Yeah.
But the thing about Furiosa,
but it seems close.
Where Mad Max Fury Road is basically a nonstop, in real time, pretty much. I mean, I know it goes from one day to the next, but it's real. This one takes place over the period of many years.
But it's before.
It's but it leads right into Fury Road.
That's cool.
All right. And then let's see a movie that I want to comment on that had got a lot of buzz especially over October. It falls into the I don't get it, is Terrifier 3. Okay. Okay. No. Hear me out.
Movie poster bad for me.
All right.
For me.
There's a lot of people that really seem to like these movies.
Yeah.
I watched the first one. I watched 10 minutes of the second one, and then everyone was talking about how this one was so to the extreme. And I watched it, but after watching it, I won't even say I was put off by the movie, because it's all practical effects, so I recognize that it's not real. My issue with this film, and it's a big one, is I don't get it. I don't get the appeal of a film like Terrifier 3.
Is it a scary clown?
I don't get it.
It's satanic.
It's, and there's a huge fan base for this film, and I just don't get it. I'm going to say this, okay? This movie doesn't hold a candle to the great 1980s horror movies that we all grew up on. I don't get it. I don't get what this is about. And I'm going to round up this year with what I thought was my favorite movie of the year, and that was the Clint Eastwood directed Juror No. 2. And I say it was my favorite film of the year, coming from a place of I didn't see a lot of movies this year, so there might be 20 that would take its place, but I didn't see a lot of movies this year. Going into Juror number 2, I had a basic idea of what the plot was. It felt like a 1990s courtroom thriller like we used to get back in the day, and it was one of those movies where I was fully invested in the story and had no idea how this thing was going to end. And by the time the movie was over, I was like, damn. That was a good movie. So Juror number 2 is
terrible ending. Good acting though.
I'm gonna say I like the ending.
Great acting.
I'm gonna disagree with her.
Ending.
The ending.
We're gonna keep it spoiler free.
Yeah, but that's good though.
That
means people will watch when they say that.
So that would be the best movie I saw this year.
Anything Clint Eastwood though, I'm in. So.
Did it seem like it was made for TV? No, I don't know. That's
it was better than that.
Yeah,
it was better than that.
I know that the performances were so much better.
Not the performance, just the way it looked. It looked like
and that's Clint Eastwood. They call him one take Clint. You know, he did one take. All right, moving on. Clint Eastwood famously, for all the movies he directs, they always come in on time or early and always under budget.
And that's what it looked like, just visually looked like. So I get it, but I like the movie. I watched it because you told me to.
Yeah, I thought it was a great film.
And it was a good watch.
Would I put it before I put Gladiator 2? Heck no.
No, dog. See that?
Well, I just realized that we're running out of time, so we didn't get to talk about any television.
She has some.
I was just like to say one last Tubi movie. That's actually it's Freevee for free. Jamie that plays Jamie West Bentley plays on Yellowstone. He plays this in this movie called P2, which is about a deranged security guard guy stalking this woman.
Parking level 2.
Why you with the women
P2.
movies? All the bad things happen to women.
I like it.
So,
stalking all of it.
Because you want to see the women kick some mean guy's ass.
Don't want to be a spoiler alert, but I'm not going to say that it happens in this movie. But Wes Bentley always plays a creepy guy. Always.
I like Wes Bentley. Guys, I'm sorry we didn't get a chance to talk about television. We were so wrapped up in the movies, but we have a hard out. So maybe we'll plan on January. We'll do a part 2 of our end of the year where we discuss television because there's a lot of interesting shows on this year.
So many good ones.
But guys, listen. Let me just tell you both, thank you so much for being a part of the Dana Buckler Show this year. It's been awesome having you both on individually. Now to have you here, all three of us, is why we got 3 microphones in the Dana Buckler studio. And this is the first time we've used 3 microphones.
Really?
For my show, yeah.
It's my first 3-way, too.
Yeah, no. So
this is cool.
So, guys, I just want to say thank you so much. Bill, we'll be back next month.
As soon as I can get in here. Thank you.
And Jess, of course, you are one of the co-hosts of the Joint Laughter podcast, a show that I've been lucky enough to be a guest on a few times. And as a matter of fact, later on today, we'll be recording an episode with you. So
can I get on? I'm just barging in because I know he's wrapping up. I want to get on that show.
Absolutely. And for our end of the year show, it's an honor to finish out with a celebrity.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Oh, you mean me?
Oh, Dana Buckler.
Oh, you mean
Or you can find us on jointlaughter.com or follow us on social media under Facebook, Joint Laughter Podcast, and TikTok and all the good stuff.
And there'll be a link in this episode show notes for you to go directly to the podcast. So, Bill, Jess, have a Merry Christmas. We'll have a Happy New Year, and we'll all talk soon, okay?
See you in 2025, dog.
Podcast.
All right. See you guys.